Very interesting Gran Turismo 7 news for you today. Is Gran Turismo 7 now essentially end of life, and are Polyphony Digital working on Gran Turismo 8 full speed? This is a super interesting update. So, new update coming to Gran Turismo 7 next week. I'm going to show you in this video all of the details, by the way. I'm going to show you footage of what's coming. This is a screenshot of what Kaz shared, and he shared it on Twitter like he normally does, saying 3 new cars coming, expecting a big fanfare, and the reception has not been positive, and I'm going to show you why in this video. So firstly, this is the first car that's coming in the update. It is the Bvlgari VGT, and I think this car in particular is everything that is wrong with the focus in Gran Turismo at the moment. This is a concept car made by a luxury watch company. I don't feel like this could be anything further than what people want in Gran Turismo, whether you're a single player or a multiplayer player. This, I feel, and I also feel like this car represents the very worst of motorsport and cars generally. This is a brand that I have no affiliation or affinity to. I can't afford luxury watches, don't think I'll ever will, got no real interest in them. It's a concept car that's never going to make it into production. It's essentially a marketing exercise for this watch company, and this is how motorsport works. If you look at the sponsors, if you look at, it's all very exclusive and off-putting if you don't have that sort of money and you don't operate in those sort of circles. So I see this car as sort of the Antichrist. I really don't like it. I don't like the fact that 1/3 of the new cars coming in the new Gran Turismo 7 update is essentially a marketing vehicle for a luxury watch company. I really don't like it. But anyway, let me know in the comments if you do. But it's not just about the fact this is a Bvlgari VGT. The other car coming in the update as well, or the second car coming in the update, is also a VGT. That's a Genesis VGT. I'm going to show you some footage of that because that is maybe a little bit more interesting, because Genesis are actually, you know, an automotive brand. They make cars. Maybe it will filter down. But I just feel like the VGTs have gone too far in Gran Turismo, and if you asked most people whether they would want the latest either road cars, if you're of that, you know, sort of that's what you enjoy, or the latest IMSA and WEC cars, so racing cars, I think most people would say one of those two camps rather than VGTs. VGTs are just seem to be an indulgence, and I'm sure it's great for Gran Turismo to work on it, and it's profile raising, and it gets them into newspapers and into, you know, websites where they might not otherwise be covered. But for the players, and given that the tagline for PlayStation is for the players, I really don't think this is for the players. And for all its, you know, risible memery and just not being good enough, Forza Motorsport have acknowledged that they have hit their low point, their nadir, and they are going to do everything they can to improve. So they've hit that point, and now they are hopefully going to be on an upward trajectory. And they do add a lot of cars to the game. They're cars that have been in previous Forza games, but they are adding a lot of cars, and they are relevant cars as well. Gran Turismo, I feel like, has a little bit of a confused identity right now, because the strapline is, it's the real driving simulator. I actually think Gran Turismo is the best racing simulator. As someone who races in real life, Gran Turismo does give me most of the sensations that I get racing in real life. For me, especially online, but it's interesting to see that they have really focused on the AI aspect, adding Sophie AI, now building it into the game in a credible way, so it's miles better than Forza. It's probably better than any other racing AI you get in gaming, although the ACC AI can be quite good, although it does end up in traffic jams. But anyway, so they're trying to improve on the racing aspect. And, you know, controversially, they've added tuning to the game recently, or they've reintroduced tuning back into online races. I'm going to put my neck above the parapet here and say, I think that's a good thing. I race with a lot of real-world racing drivers. They're all super interested in setups. When they're driving around, they're like, hey, can we change this in the setup? Maybe I'll go faster. So when I see top split racing drivers saying, I've got no interest in setups, I'm like, are you really a racing driver, or are you just a gamer? So it depends what you want. But anyway, I think Gran Turismo is a really good racing simulator, and I think they should go into that head first. I think they should add the best racing cars. I think they should nudge the game so it facilitates that racing. But I am worried because Gran Turismo 7 last year launched their update 2.0, and since then we have not really received anything meaningful. And I wonder if update 2.0 is meant to be the last update, and that's like Gran Turismo is basically done, and now they're adding some contractual obligations that they have to add some VGTs. The other car, by the way, is a Suzuki Jimny. Do you want me to speak anything about that? No, I thought not, so we'll just move on. But these cars they're adding, they're not really part of the game. They're not central. They're not. It's not. You know, they're not like they're adding the class of the IMSA GT3s, or they're adding the class of the WEC hypercars, for example. Or they're adding a Formula 1 car, or a Formula E car, or some other racing car, or an Extreme... I don't know, no one watches Extreme, so just gloss over that. But their focus is not there, so I wonder if the game is essentially wrapped now, and who can really blame them? Because, believe it or not, my dear viewers, and I know so many of you have been subscribed since that moment, and if you haven't, you can subscribe now to fix it. This game has been out for almost 2 years. And back in the day, I'm talking like Gran Turismo 4, Gran Turismo 3, Forza 3, you basically would get the game and that was it. Like, you wouldn't really get that many updates. Like, you would get the disc game would work, and you'd play it. So we have received 2 years of updates, whether that is updates that basically could have been in the game at launch, like Road Atlanta, like Grand Valley Speedway, that they were probably done at launch, they just kept it for these sort of updates, these big bangs. I don't know, but we have received 2 years of sort of support of the game and making the game better. And who can really begrudge them? I mean, I know, by the way, I paid for I'm not one of the influencers that got Gran Turismo for free. I paid for Gran Turismo with my own money. I definitely know that I've got my money's worth. There is nothing I've done in my life, absolutely nothing, a very personal thing, over the last 2 years where I've got better value for £70. Like, there is nothing. I'm telling you, very straightforward. And I've been very honest about the bits in Gran Turismo that I haven't liked, the stuff they need to improve, microtransactions at the beginning. I stuck my neck out on the grind. I said the grind is too hard. That was a bit unpopular. But, you know, through all that thick and thin, I've definitely got my money's worth on Gran Turismo. And to be honest, I'm not playing Gran Turismo as fiendishly as I used to. So I'm not on the daily races every day like I used to. I still play Gran Turismo. I'm still enjoying it. And I'm actually enjoying it in a slightly different way that I've never really enjoyed Gran Turismo Sport or Gran Turismo 7 before, which is a lot more freeing, and hopefully that's going to come through in the content. Lots of exciting content for you to come on this channel. But I feel like that game might be kind of done. And Forza Motorsport are now surely going to go into a 2-year cycle. So if you think about it, we're going to have a 2-year cycle of Forza, and when that 2-year cycle ends of Forza, maybe they they won't say it, but they'll be done with the updates. At that point, we might know about Gran Turismo 8. If you look at the historical timeline of Gran Turismo games, it seems definitely likely that we'll know about Gran Turismo 8 by that stage. So I wonder if this is the cycle now. And if you're watching this video and you've played Gran Turismo 7 for a long time, let me know in the comments whether you agree with that and you got your money's worth or not. And if you're new to Gran Turismo, let me know how you feel that you might be buying a game that's sort of just like, it's just like toddling along right now. Well, I hope you enjoyed it, and I'll see you next time.